Well, hello there and welcome. My name is Lisa, and I am so excited to be meeting with you on my EnergieGal YouTube channel. I'm an intuitive life coach, as well as empath, a human design practitioner, astrologer, and tarot reader. I help people discover, remember, and be who they are. Nothing jazzes me more than to help people re-narrate, reword a story and come into a place of freedom. So you are currently listening to the very first video in my new series called Empowered Empath. When I was pondering what it is that I think that I would be able to share with my listeners, with my subscribers, one thing that came very close to my heart was this whole idea of being an empath. You know, I discovered the fact that I'm an empath about 12 years ago. And at the age of 57 that I am now, that means I was 45. I lived for 45 years just thinking I was oversensitive and maybe even just a little crazy. I was so different than everybody else around me. And it was when I was about 45 that my second son sent me a tiny little pamphlet written by a woman named Irma K. Sawyer. And thank you, Irma. She wrote down, "You may be an empath if," and my son sent this to me and said, "Mom, I think this is what your issue could be, what you're going through could be." And boy, oh boy, was he right. Irma just unpacked me to me so well, and it's been a 12-year journey ever since. So I want to be able to unpack my journey to you with the different resources that I have gleaned from, as well as my own experiences. So this video is all about, are you an empath? What is an empath? And it's very appropriate for those of you who are wondering if you are, or already know you are, or if you are in a relationship with someone who may be an empath. So that's what this video will do. Video number 2, which will come out next week, is going to be an unpacking using your birth data of whether you are an empath. I am a human design practitioner, and I've done so many human design charts now that I can usually tell by looking at someone's chart if they're an empath, and if they are, what kind of empath they are. So between this video and next week's video, please stay tuned. Get out your pen and paper, take notes. You're going to be able to know, are you an empath, and what kind of empath are you if you are? Okay? And then we'll continue using the series as ways of being able to work through exercise as an empath, social gatherings as an empath, food and eating as an empath, ways to work through emotional trauma as an empath. I mean, it's just, I'm so excited about this series. So I want to start by unpacking for you a little information that I found on Carla McLaren's website, and I will link that below. And she calls it the art of empathy. Here's what she writes. "Empathy is the social and emotional glue that helps me understand each other, helps us understand each other. It's a skill and a trait that we all possess to varying degrees." She was very clear to say we are all empathic to a degree. Some of us are given the gift of being an empath. Empathy is a social and emotional skill that helps us feel and understand the emotions, circumstances, intentions, thoughts, and needs of others, such that we can offer sensitive, perceptive, and appropriate communication and support. We're all empathic. We have to be to navigate our way through the social world. We all read emotions. We all read intentions. We all read nuances, and so forth. Because empathy is a part of our capacity to connect to, interact with, and understand others and social situations. She continues, we all have empathic skills, and we're all empathic to varying degrees. Some of us miss social cues or misidentify emotions, and some of us go all the way to hyper empathic that we can feel overwhelmed by the emotions and situations of others. So what she's saying is there is a spectrum of empathic skills. You know, I know that for me, discovering that I'm an empath when I was about 45 years old, and I'm 57 now, so it's been 12 years of being so grateful for this information, because prior to knowing my gift of being an empath, not just empathic, but being an empath, having that be so much a part of myself, is I felt things really big and wide, and I thought that there was something wrong with me. I come from a very cerebral family, and not that I'm not cerebral, because I am, but I was also extremely deeply feeling, and I didn't have any place to put that. And there were times I really just thought I'm crazy. I happened to marry a very cerebral man as well, so there was no place for me to land when it came to why do I feel such big, high, wide, deep emotions? Why do I feel like I know the feelings of other people? Why do I pick up on the illnesses and the fears of other people? How can I just know if there has been an argument in this room and I just walked in and everybody seems to be getting along just fine? But how do I know? So this past 12 years of me coming to understand myself and the way that I'm wired as an empath has been such a learning curve for me, and so very helpful in my life coaching practice and in my relationships. I've been able to unpack myself and explain who I am to those closest to me, because I understand who I am now. So if you are ready, we'll grab pen and paper. And I have, oh my goodness sakes, we've got lots of questions here. I have 41 questions, and I want to ask these, and you would say yes, kind of, or no. And at the end, tally up how many no's, how many kind ofs, how many yeses, and you'll have a better idea of your empath life, okay? Question number 1. You tend to know how others are feeling even if they are trying to hide it. 2. You tend to avoid conflict because you don't want to hurt others or make them feel embarrassed. 3. People and animals and their relationships, interactions are endlessly interesting to you. Number 4. You do not need to see people's or animals' faces to read their emotions. 5. You are drawn to situations of injustice and spend a lot of time thinking about how to alleviate suffering. Number 6. You often mimic the mannerisms, accents, and body language of others without meaning to. Number 7. You tend to think about interpersonal issues by imagining yourself in the place of that person. Number 8, you have a very easy time reading between the lines, under the surface, and behind the obvious. Number 9, you feel beauty palpably. Beauty creates a sense of delight and expansiveness in your physical body. Number 10, interpersonal conflict, even when it does not involve you directly, often feels physically painful. Number 11, you do not like black and white polarizations. You feel that the truth usually resides somewhere in the gray. Number 12, when you make a social blunder, you feel extremely disturbed and you work hard to make things right. Number 13, you feel the emotions of others viscerally in your body, as if the emotion actually belongs to you. Number 14, you can sense and identify multiple simultaneous emotions in yourself and others, and in interactions between two people and groups. Number 15 is like it. You can sense and identify the relative intensity of multiple emotions in yourself, in others, and in interactions between two people and groups. Number 16, you consider the needs and feelings of others in decisions you make, often to the point of ignoring your own needs and feelings. Number 17, you love to observe interactions, especially when the people or animals are unaware of you. Number 18, you enjoy drama, movies, good TV shows, and well-told stories. Number 19, you love good literature, well-written characters, and a well-paced story. Number 20, you love to play with and interact lovingly with people and animals. Number 21, you have an easy, natural ability in one or more art forms. 22, you have a good and often silly sense of humor. 23, you are good with shy people and shy animals. 24, you are good with children and young animals. 25, you can get blissfully lost in your special interests for hours at a time. Number 26, in an emergency, you can focus on what's important and provide assistance. 27, you often feel tender, protective feelings towards others, even complete strangers. 28, art, music, and literature touch you deeply. 29, you are very sensitive to foods and tend to respond markedly to dietary changes. 30, you have an intense capacity to focus on activities that delight and engage you. 31, when you are in conflict with others, you tend to talk deeply about it with third parties so that you can sort out the many issues that have led to the conflict. Number 32, you love to talk about and think about interpersonal issues and social structures. 33, you have a rich interior life and you enjoy being alone with your thoughts and ideas. 34, you often need to get away from the needs of others and recharge your emotional batteries. 35, you are deeply sensitive to things like sounds, colors, textures, scents, shapes, and spatial relationships between objects. 36, you are able to stay present for yourself and others in the face of intense emotions like grief, despair, and rage. 37, you tend to physically feel the emotions of fear and anxiety of others in your own body, especially when others are unwilling or unable to admit to feeling them themselves. 38, I enjoy thinking about, searching for, and finding the perfect gifts for others. 39, I regularly feel alongside others. I feel their emotions. I feel and share deeply their concerns. 40, I tend to approach problems tangibly, using my hands and my body as I think about and walk through the issues involved. And number 41, I am deeply aware of the personal space of others. How many yeses did you have? Add those up. How many could be or kind of? And then how many no's? Okay. I would say, out of 41, the higher you get towards 41, the deeper your gift is. Now, this is a self-test, and that's why I really like our next video when I'll be talking about human design, because we input your data, come out with a human design chart that speaks of the 9 centers, and in a couple of specific centers through the hundreds and hundreds of charts that I have read, I can pretty much tell you, yep, you're this kind of empath or that kind of empath, or you're not an empath. And so the next video, I'm going to unpack a little bit about that. It's less your opinion and more, this is just the way it is. And I like to use both a little bit. Let this marinate for you, because if this is something brand new for you, it can rock your world. Because being an empath is a gift to the world, especially as our heart chakra is coming online in this season. The divine feminine, which is beyond sex or gender, the divine feminine is awakening, is on the rise to balance with that beautiful divine masculine and complete this yin and yang. And I find that the empaths are those that are leading the way, they are pioneering the way forward to a large part of this journey. So, okay, I think that's all I'm going to talk with us today about. That's a lot to chew on. It's a lot to swim in. My name is Lisa, also known as EnergieGal, because everything is energy to me. It feels like energy in my body, and so that's what I've been calling myself for 30 years. And I put my YouTube channel that name also. Listen, I do have a website that you can check out that I offer the human design readings, astrology readings, intuitive life coaching, and tarot readings. Please plug in, especially if you are someone who's new to all of this. Please plug in. There are so many of us out there who are here to help you, and I am among them. So check in at the links below. And then the other thing is, if you are enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll know when a new video is up. Every Tuesday morning, we get Empowered Empaths. Wednesday mornings is Empowered Relationships. Thursday mornings is EnergieGal Podcast Transformational Conversations, whenever I have one. And Friday is Tarot for the Week. And then like and comment, because that helps the algorithm of the YouTube channel. And please feel free to share this video with anybody who you think might benefit from it. In the meantime, take very good care of yourself. Always stay hopeful, and know that you are not in this alone. You are loved, you are a light being and a love being, and we are all here on this planet awakening to our truest selves, our highest vibration as love and light and gifted beyond measure. So, all right, I'll see you again next week when we unpack human design and how that can speak to you as to whether you are an empath, and if you are, what kind of empath are you? Take care, everybody. It's been a pleasure.